Within the realm of evaluations, instructors have both formal and informal assessments. The formal ones are the formative and summative, where marks are assigned to specific content. The informal ones are those that no marks are attached to. They are for information only. It's one of these informal assessments that we will be discussing today. Course-related self-confidence surveys. So, what is the goal of every instructor? To help the learners learn and grow. I believe the best way to improve one's self-confidence and increase motivation, which will in turn increase learning, is to prove to themselves that they can perform well. So why did I choose this particular classroom assessment technique to use in my classroom? It helps the instructors get a feel for the abilities of the whole class. One of the courses I am teaching is a foundation course, a level 1 apprenticeship course. Learners come into this course with varied degrees of knowledge. As these learners are coming straight out of industry, they could have 5 years experience in the trade, or they could have the minimum requirement, which is only 11 months. So this is how it helps the instructor get a feel for the abilities of the whole class. It fits well into my goal of assessment for learning by building confidence, which leads to increased motivation. It works great for courses that the instructor can manipulate the timeline to change the course of action based on those surveys. It creates self-reflection on their perception of the skill and how it's related to themselves. And it's a low threat assessment, thus reducing stress levels and anxiety. So what are course-related self-confidence surveys? It's a reflective survey that asks the students to rate themselves on their confidence level on course-specific content. Some self-confident learners may lack confidence in specific areas of a course. This survey highlights these areas for both the instructor and the student. Some learners may have lots of confidence, say mixing a bread dough, but have never decorated a cake, right? This is something they would have no confidence in whatsoever, right? So this survey highlights those areas. So what is the purpose of course-related self-confidence surveys? Right? It helps the instructor to determine the confidence level in all of the students in all levels of the course. It also helps the instructor to know where to spend extra time on specific skills. This is where the ability to manipulate the timeline comes in. So as in the example that I had in the previous slide, the instructor could spend minimal amount of time on demonstrations on mixing bread doughs, right? But be able to give extra time on, say, those decorating skills. So what are the disadvantages of these surveys? Because all of the students are coming directly out of industry, some of those students may have an overrated self-sense of self-efficacy, which can actually decrease their motivation, right? Because they may think they have nothing to learn. A lack of flexibility in the question itself may leave some students confused. This is where before we would begin this survey, I would go through each question step by step to make sure there is complete understanding of each question itself. And last, not all students are knowledgeable on the practice of self-reflection techniques. So what are the advantages of these surveys? right? It can be used in any classroom with a large or small amount of students. Students can identify and focus more on the specific skill needed to improve their performance, which will in turn increase their confidence. Develop a commitment to learning, which will increase motivation. Focus direction on the specific skill itself, not their lack of confidence in it. All students are taking the survey, so some students won't feel alone by having low confidence items. It's anonymous, right, which is extremely important, so it's more truthful. And it can be used at the beginning, middle, and end of the course to build self-confidence in mastering those skills. By being used at the beginning of the course, the students and instructors can measure where they are in their learning. By using it in the middle of the course, both the learner and the student can see, are they grasping the important parts of each course component? And by using it near the end, both learner and instructor can see if the learner is ready for the summative evaluations, and if not, they can see where quick review is needed. So how will feedback be used? Course content can be changed to reflect feedback on the survey. This is where the manipulating the timeline on certain content comes in. Information learned from the survey can be shared with the whole class through a variety of graphs and also discussion, so everyone in the class knows how the survey went. Remedies put in place to cover areas with low confidence, right? So if there are areas in the class that all students are low in, assuring the students that remedies will be put into place will alleviate some of that stress. And instructors will know where to spend extra time on discussions and demonstrations. Most importantly, to remember is you need to close the loop. Share what has been learned through the survey, how this information will impact the activities, and how the students, right, can use this information to improve upon their learning. So what would my course-related self-confidence survey look like? So I have a level 1 apprentice baker's course. Right? You will notice on this there is nowhere on here to put the student's name. This is very important because it needs to be said at the very beginning when you hand these out that this survey is to be anonymous. So this survey is to help us both understand your level of confidence in your baking skills. Circle the most accurate response indicating how confident you are at producing and understanding these different products. And if you can see down below here, we can see one of those kinds of problems would be demonstrate mixing procedures for a drop cookie, which is a certain type of cookies. The learner will then circle between none, low, medium, and high their level of confidence on that specific item. So this is what my course-related self-confidence survey would look like.